Ladies and gentlemen, this is extremely interesting. There was a second balloon in February of 2022 over the United States of America that nobody's talking about. This is an article from thedrive.com. F-22 scrambled to investigate a mysterious high-altitude balloon off the coast of Hawaii. And you have fighters were scrambled by Pacific Air Forces on Monday, February 14th, 2022, in order to intercept an unmanned balloon floating off the coast of the Hawaiian island of Kauai. U.S. Pacific Air Forces has confirmed the incident, but has not released additional details, given the incident is still being investigated. Okay, so almost certainly it's from the same country that sent the balloon recently. Now, nobody is really talking about this. Nobody is really talking about the fact that we had another encounter within the United States of America of a high-altitude balloon taking surveillance images, geothermal imaging. It can do a whole lot of things. These balloons can do a whole lot of things. Okay, that's just one article. There's a whole bunch of articles. Miami Herald, mysterious orb seen over Hawaii, identified by fighter jets, February 20th, 2022. So, iHeart.com, UFO over Hawaii causes F-22 to scramble. And it was basically a high-altitude balloon. Okay, now we have The Hill. President Obama's defense secretary questions Biden's response to Chinese balloon. Leon Panetta, former defense secretary in the Obama administration, questioned the Biden administration's response to the suspected Chinese spy balloon that drifted across the U.S. before being destroyed. Panetta told host Jim Acosta that the president should have been more transparent instead of allowing it to simply cross the country. That's exactly what Republicans are saying. That's exactly what Trump was saying. And this is yet another example of President Obama turning on Biden. The first example is Democrats and former Clinton and Obama officials saying, special counsel, definitely need one. Definitely need one for Biden. Oh, good classified documents. Oh my goodness. President Obama's administration made a complete mockery of classified data. That they would turn on Biden for, potential criminal activity. This is true. Hunter having access potentially to the classified data, repackaging that information, those documents into reports to facilitate business deals, according to the New York Post, according to Chuck Grassley, Ron Johnson, Ted Cruz, and others. Yeah, that's a big story. But Democrats usually circle the wagons. They never admit defeat or corruption or scandal, and they certainly never admit that private servers, during President Obama's administration were damaging national security. I mean, you couldn't even have, if you worked at Microsoft or IBM, you couldn't just, apparently you could have servers as Secretary of State siphoning classified data outside the U.S. government, top secret intel, according to Comey. But you couldn't work at IBM or Apple or any corporation and say, oh yeah, you know what, I'm just going to have my own server. Hope you don't mind, Bill Gates. That would never happen. Because they would understand that you could be siphoning privileged documents or, corporate espionage could be taking place. But apparently it's okay if you're Secretary of State. Anyway, the point is you have two stories here that really mainstream and nobody is talking about. One is we did indeed have a 2022 interaction, okay, with a balloon. Okay, almost certainly a spy balloon, because the balloons are there for a reason. They're not. If the United States doesn't know why there's a balloon hovering over the country, then there's probably a good reason that another country has sent the surveillance balloon to. I mean, these aircraft can track even cars from about 60, 70,000 feet up. They can track individuals. They can actually take pictures. The whole point, when people say, well, they had satellites, what's the big problem? We'll get to that in a second. Every day at 8 a.m. and 11 a.m., people, thank you to my 8 a.m. crew. I thank you for watching. I thank you so much for watching. 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. Pacific time. Just expect videos on this channel those times forever. And then H.A. Goodman's other channel, subscribe there. I'll have videos today, and I'll have videos, maybe a live stream later today, depending on what's going on. But definitely videos throughout the day. Be here. And ladies and gentlemen, to my Patreon, to my new Patreons, thank you so very much. I cannot thank you enough. Your Patreon support is greatly appreciated. I'm completely an independent channel, so I appreciate your support greatly, people. And the super thanks is below next to the like and the share buttons. Become a member of the channel and go to hagoodman.com to read my writing in The Hill, The Huffington Post, Salon, The Jerusalem Post, The Federalist, and other publications. But the reason when the rebuttal is, of course, well, you know what? It's just a commodity. So what if there's 20% of U.S. uranium capacity sold to a business or corporation that eventually sells it to the Kremlin? It's just a commodity. Well, then why is there an oil embargo? That was the rebuttal when you had the uranium scandal with the Clintons and President Obama. And so, but now the same thing is, well, you know what? They already have satellites. What's the problem? What's the big deal? What's the problem? Well, the problem is that if they already had satellites, China or any other country, they could be selling the information also. They could have security arrangements with other geopolitical adversaries. Okay, this is not rocket science. Think about if somebody had access to your diary. Okay, this is kind of like that. Although the rebuttal again is, well, they already have access to it. It's called a satellite, but they chose a balloon for a reason. There are a lot of things you could derive from perhaps a balloon, a spy balloon, that you couldn't from satellites. So there's a reason they utilize that. Let's just say they had the capacity to engage in surveillance from satellites. Why do you think the reason is that they sent a balloon over the United States of America? Could it be to track people? Could it be for some sinister, nefarious purpose that we can't really talk about? Okay, but we let it cross the entire country. That's the problem. That is the big problem here. Okay, the fact that it came into the country. Okay, it came into the country from the Aleutian Islands, and we couldn't just take it down and destroy it before that. Okay, so we spent $816 or so billion on defense, and 67 to 70, probably more, a lot more than that, $1 billion on intelligence. All these intel communities that went after Trump, they couldn't do their job and find out that this balloon, we need to update our balloon defense system apparently. Okay, but it just went along its merry way without being impeded. And if it was Trump, it would be, hour 27 of the balloon invasion. And so that's why nobody trusts media, because media has one job: to protect Biden. That's one job. Now, when it doesn't, and you hear Leon Panetta go after Biden, that's President Obama stating, hey, maybe we need somebody better. When former Obama officials and former Clinton officials speak, they're doing so on behalf of Hillary Clinton and President Obama. They're not doing so just... There's a political objective to all of this, especially when a former intel chief like Leon Panetta speaks. Okay? They have leveled the United States intel community against Trump, and all we've had to deal with now is ruined Thanksgiving dinners because the morally superior, highly educated liberal thinks that Trump is the embodiment of criminality and evil because he's been told that by media and by CNN and by former intel chiefs. And we have a national security apparatus that can't protect us from a balloon, a spy balloon. And yes, there was a whole lot of information derived that wasn't derived from a satellite. That's why they chose the balloon. Anyway, hit subscribe to this channel. Left, right, center, Democrat, Republican. God bless you. Have a beautiful, blessed day. If you're watching, I thank you very much. I'm not into tribalism. I don't like that stuff, but I come with a distinct viewpoint. If you watch this channel, I just appreciate your support and you watching. I don't care what your viewpoint is. You know what my viewpoint is, and that's why hopefully you're watching the channel. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. Be here at 11, probably like 11:30. So it's around 11, about around 8 and 11 every day. You will have videos on this channel, and check the channel throughout the day, ladies and gentlemen. I should have a live stream later.